honestly, this video like dropped in my heart probably like a couple days ago, sometime last week, and in my head I was like, oh, there's no way I'm going to create a video like this. Like, there's no way I'm going to even tell my story. Like, no, I'm never going to post this video on my channel or on any channel, matter of fact. But God, like, he downloaded something in me, and I was just getting all these signs on why I had to create this video. So here I am being obedient to the Lord and creating this video, not just for me, but for someone else. Like, this is not for me. I'm not doing this to get this off my conscience. Like, I'm good. This is for someone else that may need this. And so whoever this is for, I hope this blesses you. I hope that you can become delivered and set free from this. I just hope whatever you're battling, whatever you're struggling, I want you to know that God loves you. And I love you. I care about you. And if you ever need someone to talk to about this, I'm here. So, like, around the age of, like, 4 or 5, I started to realize that I had different feelings. Like, feelings for females or women. And honestly, I didn't know where this had came from. Like, this is not something that I wanted. I was young, so I didn't know what I was feeling. But I know I was starting to have a liking to females. And I was like, okay, this is weird. Like, is this normal? I don't think this is normal, because based off my family, all I see is men and women together. I don't ever see women and women. You know, it's not like in the limelight. Like, of course, people are on the DL, but it wasn't in the limelight. So pretty much, yeah, 4 or 5, I started liking women, and I don't know where it came from. I do know that it was an attack from the enemy, though. I know that for sure. Because, see, that's how the devil, like, that's how he sneaks and weasels in, bro. He starts when you're young. Around that time, I was also molested by a close relative of mine. And so I'm not sure if that's where the spiral came from or what. But a lot of people that are gay and you like the same sex or whatever, a lot of it can stem from sexual assault. So, and that's the enemy as well. That's Satan all the way. So that's an attack from him as well. So maybe it stemmed from that. I don't know. This is something I still need to get therapy over, but God wanted me to tell my story. So yeah, I had this girl best friend at this trailer park that I used to stay at when I was a kid, and we wanted to be boys so bad. Like, we wanted, boy privates, like, so bad, like. And I don't know why. For me, I thought it was just easy. I was like, man, it's so cool being a boy. It's easy being a boy. Being a girl, it's so hard. You got to wear dresses and you got to do all this stuff. I don't want to wear a dress. So I didn't want to be a girl, quite frankly. So that's where that stemmed from. I honestly, I wonder how she's doing. I wonder if she's struggling with anything, she's going through anything, or if she's good right now. I don't know. Mind you, I never, like, had a, like, father or dad figure. I never had a dad in my life, because my dad was always in and out of prison. So I didn't have any fatherly or manly type of love around me to give me the love that I needed from a male figure, the correct kind of love. So I was trying to create it myself. I was trying to create that love myself. And being a man or being a boy, that was, like, the start of it. I never transitioned or, like, transitioned to be trans or anything like that. It was just like I was just gay and liked women. That's the thing. So moving along, middle school, I never really got elementary, middle school, I liked girls, but I never pursued them because I was too shy. And I was just like, this is weird. Like, this is weird. This is literally weird. Like, seriously, like, what am I doing? That's how I felt. Like, I'll be writing in my journal, like, as a kid in elementary school, writing in my journal, like, God, please take this away from me. I don't want these feelings. I don't want to like women. I don't want to like girls. Like, why am I feeling like this? Like, I don't want this. This is not right. That's how I felt because, based off my family, I grew up Christian. I'm a church girl. And if you're a church person, you grew up in the church, you know how they feel about that. Like, that is a no-go. You know. And so my family was already judgmental about it with other people. So I was like, yo, there's no way I'm going to come out and tell them. So, heck no. High school, nothing. I mean, there was girls that I liked and stuff, but I never pursued them. But in college, that's when I got my first girlfriend. And that's when I did a full 360. I had tapered hair and short hair. I'll insert pictures. But I was just going full-blown, like, stud mode. Seriously. And I had my first girlfriend. Normally, that's how it stems. Whenever you're a girl that dresses, tomboyish and stuff, sometimes you can be a tomboyish and, you like dudes. But other times, on the other hand, it's like, okay, you're walking into a different era. You're walking into something different. So just be mindful of that. If you, have kids or something, just ask them questions and don't like interrogate them. Just like ask them questions and love on them regardless. Love on them regardless of what they say. Love on them, because love trumps all. Literally. Love and the love of the Lord. God's love, because if you love them and you're praying and stuff, God will come and do it. God will come and do it. Whatever it is, God is going to come and do it. So I don't know. I just felt like saying that if there's a parent that's watching this and they're, suspicious about their kids or a child or something, love on them and go to God and keep and press. That's the only way. Because feelings are feelings. And the feelings are going to be there whether you want them to be there or not. But God can come in and change them. So going back to college, I was with her because I was seeking love and validation. Yeah, I received love from my mom and all that, but I was seeking a different kind of love. Maybe it was the missing gap from my father. But I was seeking love and validation, and I went to her for that. I found her, or we met off Tinder, and y'all know how Tinder is. But I wasn't the type to just bang and then just go. No, I was the type, even though I had my, freshman year, I had my story, but that wasn't who I was. I'm a lover girl. I'm still a lover girl. I date for marriage. I don't date just because. Like, I date because I want to marry you. And I was dating her because I wanted a wife. I was like, yeah, I'm not going to like men. I guess I want a wife. Because the men aren't doing it for me. Even though deep down I always, valued and wanted being married and having kids. I've always wanted that since I was a little girl, but I was just like, well, I'm gay, is I don't know what, so that's not gonna happen. But it was the enemy and God battling in my head. God had already stamped and approved me. That's like the whole thing in my head where I wanted to be married to a man. Like, God, I don't even know where that came, but it was just already there. And here come the devil wheezing his way in. So I dated her, and everything was cool. We were like a year in, right? And I got convicted or condemned. Well, really convicted. It wasn't really condemned. And this was so crazy because, mind you, I was in college, right? And I had just met this girl. I'm not going to share her name, but I had just met her. And she was like, she called me. I only had like 2 or 3 classes with her. It was the beginning of the semester, and she was gay as well. And she was Christian, and she loved God, but she was super gay, stud, all that. And so she called me, right? Mind you, the girlfriend I had, she was on the way to my house, and she lived in Salisbury, so it was like an hour away because I was in Greensboro for school. So it was like an hour away or whatever. So she's on the way to my place, and my friend had called me, and she was just like, yo, just talking and all this stuff. And then she was like, you know what we're doing is a sin, right? And I was just like, what? Like, what are you talking about? She was like, you know what we're doing is a sin. And at that point, I was just so mad because I was just like, bro, you're doing the same thing I'm doing. So how are you going to tell me it's a sin? Like, I was in my head, I was like, yo, take the speck out your own freaking eye. Like, how you going to tell me? Like, when you're convicted and then you start to get defensive, that's what was happening. And I was just like mad and stuff. So I didn't show her that I was mad. I was just like, yeah, I knew, because I knew it was a sin. I grew up Christian. I grew up a church girl. I know how I was living was a sin, but I didn't care. I was running away from God. I was not trying to be of the Christian life anymore. because church hurt, one. And I just didn't like how Christians were doing. So I was just like, yeah, I don't want no parts. I want to do my own thing. I want to live my own life. Even if it is a pathway to hell, I want to live it. That's crazy, right? And so I got off the phone with her after she convicted me, and my girlfriend at the time, she was just like, you know, she had finally arrived, and like I was getting off the phone right as she arrived, and my whole mood was like just off. My whole mood had changed, and she was like, "You okay?" Da, da, da. And I was just like, "Yeah," like obviously no, like that was the first sign of conviction, like yo. And I wasn't even trying to get close to God. That's the thing. I was literally running away from God the whole time. I wasn't even trying, but I was just like, yo, why do I feel this way? Like, why do I feel like this? Why can't I just live my life and just be gay? Like, man. And so that happened. And then the second sign came around, and like, I was still with her in it was a couple months later. And I went to a conference with Travis Green and Devon Franklin. And I don't even remember what the conference was about. I just know it was worship, and it was just like a sermon. And you know, Devon Franklin, he preaches on relationships. But at the time, I was just like, okay, whatever. So all I remember him saying is that if you don't plan on marrying that person, you're wasting their time. Why are you with them? Mind you, when I was convicted from the first one, the whole time I was just like, man, I can't. Like months within, I was just like, man, I can't be with her. Like, this ain't gonna work. Da, da, da. So like every time I would kind of always be like standoffish, you know. Da, da, da. She's like, what's wrong? And I'm just like, nothing. Da, da, da. It was God. It was God moving on me. So that's, you know, I went to the conference, and another sign, boom, said if you don't plan on marrying that person, then you need to break up with them. And I was like, man, I really don't want to break up with her because we're good. We are fine. We're good. There's nothing going on right now. There's nothing wrong going on. It's just that we weren't meant to be in that relationship together as two women. It just wasn't meant to be. But I was just like, I'm fine. Like, we're good. Yeah, like, yeah, we have arguments every now and again. But, I mean, we can bounce back from that. It's fine. And so I was like, once I heard that, I was like, man, I got to break up with her. And it tore me up. It literally tore me up. I did not want to have to break up with her. But I knew it was something I had to do. I had to be obedient to God. Because when I went to that conference, I was starting to like watch like different godly things. But it wasn't like I was trying to be a full-blown Christian. Like, you know, and do Christian things and stuff. But yeah, that happened. And I was like, that was the second sign. And the third sign came. I was like, all right, God, if you want me to break up with her, you got to do this. Because it's not going to be me. I'm not going to be the one to break up with her. You're going to have to break up with her. Because I'm not doing it. And so like a couple nights later, we got into this huge, big argument that was just literally like so crazy. So crazy. No, actually, I think it was that same night. It was that same night. No, it wasn't the same night. A couple nights later, I asked God, yo, God, if you want me to break up with her, you're going to have to do it because I ain't going to do it. And that same night when I asked God, he made us get into this big argument. It was the worst of our whole relationship. Like the worst. I don't even remember what we said, but it was just like some horrible things. And I was like, yeah. I got off the phone and I was like, yeah, I got to break up with her. And then I did. I broke up with her that same night. And she thought I was playing when I did it. Because it literally came out the blue. Like, we got into an argument, cool, but, like, we bounced back. But it was, like, a really bad argument. And that one, I forgot. It was something because I forgot what it was about. Mind you, this was, like, some years ago. But it was something because it pointed me in the direction, like, yo, this has to be it. This is too bad. The relationship started to turn a little bit toxic when I started to realize who I was and that I was a child of God and that I couldn't be doing this. So that's when it was me starting to turn things toxic, I guess. And so yeah, like it was just so crazy because I broke up with her over FaceTime, and that same night I drove to Salisbury to console her because I was heartbroken myself. I broke her heart and I broke my own heart at the same time. And I was like, God, why would you do this? Like, I'm heartbroken too. I broke my own heart in the mix for you. Like, I broke my heart for you. Like, I'm heartbroken. Like, this is supposed to be good. Like, I knew what I had did was the right thing, but I was so tore up about it because I didn't want to do it. And so I traveled to Salisbury that night, and I just consoled her, and we just cried together. We wept. We grieved the relationship. Really, I grieved the relationship. She was probably grieving me, but I grieved the relationship. Like, man, like, I can't. Or maybe I grieved the lifestyle, because I was like, this is it. This is it for me. So I started giving my life to God, and I was just so heartbroken, and I was so mad at myself and heartbroken for breaking her heart, because I broke her heart, and I know I did. It was just sad, honestly. It was really sad. And one thing I remember is whenever she was trying to get me back, because, you know, we was still having our fling. Like, once we broke up, we was still doing stuff, still sleeping again, like, still doing all this stuff. She came one time, and this was the last time, and she was really fighting hard to get me back. And I was just like, we can't do this no more. We just can't do. I was like, you know that we can go to hell? We're going to hell for this. We are going to hell. We're going to go to hell for this. And I was just saying, hell this, hell that. And she was just like, no, we're not. My grandma said that, you know, gay people can go to heaven and all this stuff. And I was like, no, we're going to hell. And oh, man, in the moment afterwards, I felt so bad for saying that. Because it's like, Tonda, why would you say that? You don't say things like that. You just don't say. That's not the right thing to say. And I regret saying that things. And I wish I could apologize to her and tell her that I'm sorry. That should have never came out of my mouth. Ever. I should have never said, we can go to hell. I should have never said that. That's not the right thing to say. I wish I could apologize to her for that, but I can't. So in that time of grieving the relationship, I just started to get closer to God. I started watching more sermons and watching Mike Todd. I know how some people feel about Mike Todd, but Mike Todd literally brought me back to Christ. I feel like for Mike Todd, he's a man that literally, truly brings people to Christ. Like, people that's out in the world being heathens, he brings them back to Christ, literally, and that's what he did. So I give that man his flowers. I give that man his props. Despite what people are saying right now and what he has going on and all that stuff, I give that man his props for bringing me back to Christ. That's all I can do. Like, I really respect and I love Mike Todd for that. Now I don't know what's going on, but I still love him regardless. Sometimes I still may watch his sermons every now and again, but they don't hit like they used to. I feel like I've outgrown him. And I need something more deeper, more richer, since I'm more deeper into my Christian walk. And I'm not like a newbie anymore. Like, I'm in this, like, to the point where it's like, yo, I be having seminary class of myself. Like, I'll be going through the genealogy and everything. Like, I'll be going cuckoo. I'll be going crazy. But anyways, yeah, like, I love Mike Todd for that. He's a real good dude, real cool dude for that. And I respect him and I appreciate him for that. What's crazy is I really did not want to leave the relationship, but I know I want to know. It was a conviction that clicked because I grew up Christian and I knew it was wrong how I was living, but I was literally running away from God. Like, I didn't want the lifestyle of being a Christian. I wanted to live how I wanted to live and do what I want to do. And I love the Lord. I did love God. I just didn't want to live like that. I didn't like his way of me having to live, how it says in the Bible. I didn't want that. I wanted to still have my relationships and all that stuff. But I'm glad that God delivered me from it, from homosexuality. I really am. Because this man just over here just, hey, how you doing? Like, sir, do y'all hear him? But yeah, I'm just glad that God delivered me. I'm glad that God set me free. Of course, there's temptation and stuff, but I've gotten a lot stronger. I'm a lot better now, and it's all to God. It's all glory to God on it. So if it's something that you're struggling with, you need help with, seek counseling for sure. Watch a bunch of sermons, pray to God, ask God, seek the Lord, seek his face. Because that's what I had to do. Not just on one occasion, multiple times. Get prostrate on the floor and seek his face. Because, like, that right there is the only way that's going to break that. And then I had a soul tie after that. Like, God had to do a lot of breaking inside of me. And it's just so crazy how far I've come. Like, seriously, I'm so grateful to God, and I'm so grateful to the person that sent that conviction and convicted me and called me. I'm so grateful to her. She don't even know she convicted me. But I'm just so grateful. And I thank God for what he's doing. I have a long way to go, but it's like I seek and I value and I want a husband and kids. Like, kids by him. I don't want kids where I'm being, like, inseminated by another woman for, with my partner. Like, no, I want to have kids with a man, a family with a man. I want to love on a man and be loved by a man. And that's crazy that I'm even saying that. It's not crazy, but it's crazy because based off how I was. Like, I'm going to show y'all pictures. I was a full-blown, like, stud. Like, STEM, but, like, stud, bro. I was a stud. And God truly came through and saved a girl. He a real one. He a trooper. But I just want to share my story. If you guys have any other questions or anything, drop them in the comments. Let me know. Or email me. And I'll be happy to answer. Thank you guys for watching my story, hearing my story. And yeah, love y'all. Peace.